Good day, all of you, and God bless. My name is Dr. Alex British Chinedu Tasie from Ishopo Community in Ikwere Local Government Area of Rivers State of Nigeria, West Africa. And by the grace of God, I am a writer, a musician, a filmmaker, a football coach, a historian, and a multidimensional thinker. I am also a self-appointed, self-acclaimed president of the Nigerian semi-educated class. The people in Nigeria that you say and think are not well-educated people are not highly educated people. I am a proud, self-appointed, self-acclaimed president of that group in Nigeria. This section is the continuation of the presentation of my presidential manifestos, the things that I intend to do for the people of Nigeria if given the opportunity to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come the year 2031. As a Nigerian, I am substantially aware that Nigeria is facing a serious challenge. Nigeria is in a messy situation. All that is as a result of the objectionable, ignominious, and malodorous way the political class, the leadership class, the ruling class, the people we call politicians in Nigeria dispense governance, the way they approach and handle political administration of this country called Nigeria. That is why Nigeria is in this awful situation. I am also aware as a native Nigerian that Nigeria is facing food shortage. Food shortage is in Nigeria and it is devastating the Nigerian society. People are starving to death because there are not enough foods to eat. The reasons why Nigeria is experiencing food shortage are not far-fetched. One of the major reasons that stagnates and debilitates the progress of agricultural practice in Nigeria is that of land. Many people in Nigeria want to go into agriculture, want to go into farming, but there are not enough lands for them to do that. In Nigeria, land is a serious challenge. Finding enough land to give to farmers, to farm, to use for their agricultural practices is a difficult task. Nigeria has a problem of land inheritance and land ownership, especially in the southern part of Nigeria. So that is one of the greatest challenges that impedes the practice of agriculture in Nigeria, is that of finding enough land for farmers to farm. So when I come on board as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, recognizing this problem, my administration will assist to midwife deals between farmers and the local people that have the land. My administration will liaise with the local people so as to provide enough land for agricultural use. My administration will appeal to the local people, to the landowners in Nigeria, to make lands available for farming. As I have said, so many people in Nigeria want to go into farming, but they don't have the land. My government will not dispossess Nigerians of their landed properties. What I will do is to appeal to the areas that have enough land to make lands available for farming. Government will give the local people the resources that can help them, provide lands for agriculture so that we can have enough food for our people. Nigeria is a big country and is not supposed to talk about food shortage. That is what I am going to do. My administration will support farmers with improved seedlings and crops to plant. In the northern part of Nigeria, where agriculture is a serious business and where the people there are synonymous with farming, my administration will give them the incentives necessary and needed to boost food production. In fact, my administration will head the farmers in the northern part of Nigeria into mechanized farming. That is the way to go. Government will provide funds and resources for farmers. In addition, government will also provide enough security for our farmers. People will not die because they want to produce the food that we will eat. So my administration will strive to protect the lives of the Nigerian farmers and what they produce. That is what I am going to do. My administration will not know anything like food shortage when I come on board as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In the area of security, my administration will strive to secure the lives and property of the Nigerian people. Insecurity is a serious challenge in Nigeria. Many people don't go to farms. Some don't go to their business areas. Some don't go to work as a result of insecurity. Organ harvesters, kidnappers, assassins are there taking the lives of the Nigerian people. Insurgency, militancy, ethnic jingoism, irredentism, all these things are taking the lives of many Nigerians on daily basis. So my government will strive to secure the Nigerian people. One of the things that I am going to do to improve the security architecture of this country is to bring in the experiences and support of foreign countries. Countries like Russia, Germany, France, Japan will come to help us provide enough security for our people. Russia, Germany, France, and some other countries will come to help Nigeria in collaboration with our local security agencies to give Nigeria maximum security. So those foreign countries will help to mount cameras for Nigeria in the space so as to give enough surveillance. The areas that are not yet habited, the bushes that are there where criminals hide and go to perpetrate crime will all be surveyed and monitored by the cameras that will be mounted in the space by the Russians, the French, the Germans, the Japanese, and some other countries. That is the way to go. Our highways will be placed with CCTV cameras. Along our highways, I will construct and build intermittently minor security posts where our security officers and personnel will stay and monitor our highways. I will also provide them with motorbikes, vehicles, and helicopters to respond to emergencies and distress calls. When our highways are monitored and secured, plus the cameras mounted in the space to give surveillance, to monitor the uninhabited areas in Nigeria, to monitor the large bushes that we have in Nigeria, the issue of insecurity will be a thing of the past. That is what I am going to strive to achieve. In addition to provide maximum security for our people, the grievances, the challenges that make some Nigerian people to resort to insurgency and militancy will have to be looked into and addressed. I am aware that some of the causes of insecurity in Nigeria are as a result of religious, ethnic sentiments, ideologies, and philosophies. So my administration will liaise, will discuss with the Nigerian people to see how we can dampen, how we can abate the tensions that are in Nigeria. And those tensions that spur and ignite, conflagrate emotions in Nigeria. That is what my administration will strive to achieve. So insecurity will be a thing of the past when I come on board as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is what I am going to achieve. When I come on board as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my administration will not know anything like pension and gratuity. There is no sense that when a government worker retires, ends his or her service for the country, for the government, that person will continue to be paid a monthly pension. My administration will not continue with that. There is no sense that when a government worker retires, the government will pay that person a large sum of money in the name of gratuity. My administration will discontinue that. In my administration, when someone is employed as a government worker, that government worker will be given every entitlement, emphasis, encouragement due to that worker. Every government worker working for the government will receive living wage, will receive every incentive needed to boost his or her work or job for the government. There is no sense that while working for the government, you collect a salary, you collect your impresses, you use all that to help yourself and your family. And when you retire from active service, the government will continue to pay that worker for life pensions. That is senseless. So my administration will discontinue from gratuity and pension after active service. And the pool of resources that I am going to generate from that area will be pushed into the social security scheme that I am going to float when I become the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is what I am going to achieve. Pension and gratuity will not exist in my administration because there is no sense in that. The money that government spends at the end of the month in the name of pension to multitudes of retired government workers is so much, and so can be used to alleviate the sufferings of the Nigerian people who do not have jobs to do at the moment, in the immediate. So my administration will use a part of the pension and gratuity that will be saved to run that scheme, so that the Nigerian people who do not have jobs to do, who do not have employment, but are eligible and qualified, can have something to use to cushion the effect of economic hardship. That is what I am going to do. My administration, when I come on board as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, will have to look into the legislative arm of government. I agree that it is independent, but I am going to introduce unicameral legislature instead of the bicameral legislature that we presently operate, to reduce the cost of governance. I am going to remove the bicameral legislature that we presently have. there will be only one arm of legislative, assembly to help administer effective political administration. That is what I am going to do. I am also going to downsize, the working force in Nigeria. So many Nigerians work for the government. In fact, it is like the government is the only source of employment in Nigeria instead of the public sector. So I am going to downsize government workforce and help the people into factories, into industries to produce what we want in this country. My government will discontinue to be employing people into the civil service while they go there to do nothing. So I am going to discontinue that. I am going to downsize government workforce. People who have no businesses being in the civil service will have to go. That is what I am going to do, so that the government can save enough money to develop our country. In fact, in case you do not know, most of the resources of the government go into salaries and pensions. So that will have to end when I become the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will, strive to achieve. I am also going to do something about the way state governments are being administered in Nigeria. The era where state governors act as emperors, where they dip their hands into the treasuries of the states, will end. In fact, no state governor will take the money of the people, will appropriate the funds of the state and make the funds the resources his or her personal property. That will end when I become president. In fact, government system of oppression will have to be overhauled and reorganized. We will have few people working for the government and more people in the public sector. My government will encourage the public sector to be more viable in order to produce what we want and the things to export, in order to raise our GDP status. That is what I am going to strive to achieve. When I become the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, inshallah, in the year of 2031, I am going to champion a new renaissance, a new consciousness, an enlightenment for the African people. I will strive to put to an end some of the imperialistic tendencies, practices, mentalities, philosophies, oppressions that are not in tandem with our people, that do not promote, cognitively peace and stability. When I come on board as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will be at the forefront to stir up a new consciousness for the African people. those things that come from the European nations, from America, that devastate our societies religiously, socially, economically, will have to be altered, will have to be stopped. I have noticed that Africa is becoming an extension of the white man's world, where white people's mentalities, practices flourish and also undermine our native applications. When I come on board, I will work assiduously with other heirs in Africa, other African leaders, to see how we put to an end all those foreign mentalities, practices that come from Europe mainly and North America that do not help our people. When I come on board as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in collaboration with other African leaders, I will design for the African people a dress code to identify the African people. As the Europeans and the North Americans have the suits as their traditional dress code, African people will also have a dress code to identify them. There will be a central dress code for the whole of Africa. That is what I will strive to do. As the Indians have their own native dress code, the Europeans have, the Americans have, African people are due to have their own dress code. I will also strive in partnership, in collaboration with other African leaders to have a common denomination for Africa, a common currency to trade and to do business. Africa is due to have a common, a central denomination to trade internally and also to trade externally. So when I come on board, I will strive in partnership with other African leaders to see how Africa can have a common denomination. We shall not continue to depend on the euro, the pound and the dollar to do businesses in Africa and outside the shores of Africa. Africa is due to have a common, a central denomination to do business in Africa and outside Africa. When I come on board as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, inshallah, I will also work in partnership, in collaboration with other African leaders to see how we can have a central language for the African people. Professionals in the academia, business people, people in every field of endeavor in Africa will make inputs to see how we adopt a common language, how we formulate a common language for the people of Africa in order to boost interaction and communication, in order to also boost trade. Foreign languages will have to go and will also have to be diminished in Africa. People who want to do business with us in Africa will come to Africa and learn our language, will come and study our language so as to do business with us. I will strive to stir a new consciousness I will galvanize other African leaders to see how we end imperialistic tendencies in Africa. I am going to do that. Africa will not continue to be a dumping ground for European goods. So, I will, in partnership, in collaboration with other African leaders, see how we can begin to produce what we want and what we can export to the rest of the world. Africa is a big and blessed continent.